So let's make
sound.
It is 5 o'clock. Time to go out and have fun.
Chinese.
Yes. Let's go.
What a productive day. What should I do in the evening? Okay, I'm bored in the house and I'm in the house bored. Bored in the house and I'm in the house bored. Bored than my friend in the freaking house bored. And I'm bored than my friend in the freaking house bored. Bored in the house, bored in the house, bored. Bored in the house, bored in the house, bored. Bored than my friend in the freaking house bored. And I'm bored than my friend in the freaking house bored. Bored, I'm 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 bored. Bored, I'm 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 bored. What if there's a service that sends an SMS message to me about the latest events that are happening in the area weekly or daily? So right off the bat, we can see there are 3 main components to this question. First is the ability to send SMS messages. Twilio is one of the leading platforms that enable this with a low cost of 0.0075 per message. So even if I do 1 message per day, it will still be roughly 25 cents per month. I think I can do that. Yeah, I can. What about getting the latest events? Well, we are going to use Thrillist as our source of content. If you don't know about Thrillist, it is an online media website covering food, drink, travel, and entertainment. And the recommendation has been top-notch, so I strongly suggest you give it a try. Thrillist has a dedicated page for Philadelphians, and we can do some scraping from it. The best thing is that visually, they have very consistent designs for their posts, and that will be super beneficial for scraping tasks, which we are gonna discover soon. Okay, assuming we can get the SMS and scraping events done, how can we get it to be sent weekly or daily? Well, on top of my mind, the quickest solution that is free and not requiring lots of setup is GitHub Actions. What is GitHub Actions, you may ask? Well, it is part of the GitHub ecosystem. Duh. And since its official inception on November 13, 2019, it has completely changed my life. We can get into that some other days, but one feature that GitHub Actions support is to run a job or a cron job periodically. We can make use of this to run our scraping and sending SMS scripts. With this, no complicated backend is needed. Hooray! One last thing, what programming language are we choosing to go with this project? Since we are doing some scraping, I would naturally go with Python. You can choose any language you want though, but hopefully I can convince you why Python as we move on. In this video, which is the first part of a 3-parts video series for this project, we will focus mainly on scraping for useful content from Thrillist. With a plan clearly mapped out, let's dive into the details.
Ready, set, go!
Again, our development environment involves Python and scraping libraries. The best way to get these ready is to use Anaconda, not the song, unfortunately, but actually a Python library to create a virtual environment dedicated to this project only. And this applies to other Python projects as well. Always create a virtual environment. Seriously, create a virtual environment. To create an environment, you simply type. And if you accidentally mistype, like I did many times while creating this video, use this to clean up the environment. For libraries, we are gonna need Selenium and Beautiful Soup. They are my go-to libraries for any kind of scraping, so let's install that now. First, we will install Selenium. This is the library that helps us get the DOM of any website. And Selenium actually has a dependency called WebDriver Manager, so we need to install that as well. Lastly is the Beautiful Soup, which you can install by this command. Alright, let's hop on VS Code and start coding. Wait! Today, I want to share with you a tool that will expedite your Python development process called Jupyter. Jupyter comes with Anaconda, and you will see why it's an amazing tool soon. Don't worry, you don't need any prior knowledge on this tool. However, there are a few things that you need to do to connect to the virtual environment that we created before, and it can be done very easily by install Anaconda and IP kernel, and third, connect those two. And yeah, that easy. To get started on Jupyter, first we deactivate from the environment that we created before back to the base environment. Then we cd into the folder of our project and then type Jupyter Notebook. And yes, Jupyter runs on your browser, so you will instantly know how to navigate around the website. Let's create a new file, and this is where we will run our code. A few things before we start. This is a cell, and each cell can be executed by clicking this or using Shift-Enter shortcut. And yeah, that's all that you need to know. There are a lot more great features provided by Jupyter, so if you want a detailed video on that, let me know down in the comments below. So, like all code files, we start by importing our dependency. First, we import Beautiful Soup, next we import Selenium and its dependency. For the first actual code, we are gonna boot up a Chrome tab that is controlled by our software for scraping purposes by doing this. And you should see a new tab window after the driver is downloaded. Next, we're gonna visit the site that we want to scrape. I live in Philadelphia, so I will choose Philadelphia. And as you can see, we want to focus on the first 4 articles only. There are 3 pieces of information that we need from each of these articles: title, description, activity type, and last but not least, href, or the link to the actual article. And to do that, we are gonna use our friendly inspect tool. This tool, actually I still don't know what its name is, gives us the ability to navigate between HTML code. Super useful tool. Then we're gonna click that and choose the block of content that contains all 3 information that we need from each article. We land a div element with this class. Let's quickly use JavaScript to verify our findings. So we found 32 divs with the same class. This is way more than our 4 wanted articles. To narrow it down, there's no other way than just manually checking where those 4 are in these 32 divs. We can do that by subscript 0. Okay, so the first element is the first article, and same for the second element, third element, and fourth element. Awesome! Now let's look into one of them closely to find how to get the title, description, activity, type, and href. If you just expand and follow the design, we can see that the first A element contains the activity type, the second A element contains the href, the first H2 element contains the title, and the first H3 element contains the description. Awesome! This is a good amount of finding already, so let's automate it before we move on with the actual details page. Going back to our Jupyter, let's first grab the DOM and prepare the parser. And if you remember, we can get the 4 articles by grabbing the first 4 divs with the class, which can be done by what is this? I will call them cards because they look like cards. Then I use the parser to look for all the divs within the class. Because all the elements that we are looking for are nested deeply inside the tree, I will use recursive equals true. And last but not least, getting the only first 4 elements by slicing. Okay, cool. No errors. How can we verify this? Let's first start by declaring a class for easy manipulation. First, we import the data class from data classes. Why do we need this? Well, it helps create class super easy and fast. Now we will create an article class with 4 attributes that we want. All are of type string. Next, declare a list that is gonna hold all of these articles. We are gonna create articles by following our previous findings on each card. The first A element contains the activity type, the second A element contains the href, the first H2 element contains the title, and the first H3 element contains the description. Let's verify that. That is half the battle. Now we have to scrape for the first detailed article for the names. This might be more tricky since different pages can have different designs, but nothing is impossible. Let's visit the first article by doing. To make this video concise, we will only be focusing on getting the titles for each item and their redirect links only. They are the bold text that we are seeing here. And for this article, we have 11 different items or suggestions. We are going to keep that in mind for scraping. To scrape, you do the usual routine of spinning up the inspect tool and inspect our desired element. Remember, one rule of thumb is to find the bigger pattern first and then find the specific. So first, the big pattern is the whole item suggestion. There are no ways to grab just one item at a time. So we are going to have to go with grabbing the whole article content. we first gonna have to grab the DOM again because it's a new website and parse it and get the content. Coming back to the browser, we are gonna keep expanding until we find the element of interest. Expanding, 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 expanding. Aha! So the two things that we want are trapped inside this h2 element. The text can be extracted through h2, but the redirect link is inside href of a of h2. Let's use that information and go do some final scraping. First, we will get all the h2s. Remember the find all keyword and see what we get. Ah, we get back 11, exactly the number of suggestions we have in this article. Again, let's make a data class to store all this information in a manageable order. Let's extract the information as stated before and put it into a list again. Ah, we have an error. Seems like this h2.find a recursive equals true return none, which means that we can't find any a element in h2. In English, that means there might be a suggestion that doesn't have a link. Coming back to the browser, aha, eat good for the holidays doesn't have a link. It's a generic suggestion and I don't want that in my result. We can do that by adding an if to only create a suggestion object if there exists an a element. Else we do the exact same thing, except this can now be substituted by this variable. No error. Let's see how well it does. Awesome, solid scraping skill. Is that all? Well, let's test on the second article to see if the script is flexible enough for this website. So we went back up and visited the second article. 14 museum exhibits in Philly to check out before they disappear. Then run, run, run. Ooh, we get exactly 14. That's what I called a programmer's wet dream right there. Run, 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 run. And when you look at that, it works flawlessly for the second article as well. Let me get a hold of you right here. This is what I usually do, testing on different sites to make sure our script is robust enough. It might be tedious, but it's worth the effort. To lead by example, I will test on the third and fourth article as well. The third. Aha, it didn't work. So what's going on? Well, we'll see that it successfully grabs the 15 bars, so my best guess is that all these don't have an element. No, all of them do. Alright, we are going in. Ah, in this case, our element is actually the parent of h2, not a child anymore. Okay, so let's try that. If the parent tag name is a, then we grab that. Else, we do a normal procedure like before. Sweet, our 15 suggestions are now present. However, the href is not complete. It seems to be missing the base domain name. My guess is that if a is the parent of h2, we have to append the base domain name. Remember, this is a guess. We are reverse engineering a website that we know nothing about. I don't work at Thrillist to be able to confirm this to you, although it will be cool to work there. Anyway, let's add the base domain back. A quick solution for this is actually by observing the difference between a complete href and an incomplete href. That's right, incomplete will not contain HTTP, so we can use that logic for adding the base domain just like that. Perfecto. Now let's see if this script is bulletproof for the final article. This one has 16 suggestions. Let's run through our script one more time. Ooh, 16 articles, so satisfying. And look at that, all href correctly formatted. That was one hell of a ride, but we have finished our script on a test notebook, and that concludes our first step to get this project going. Honestly, this is probably the hardest step, but you have done it. Hopefully this can help you become more confident in your next scraping task. If you want to stay up to date for the last 2 steps of this project and videos alike, make sure you hit the like button. Anyway, if you want to stay up to date with the latest technology programming wise that I'm gonna cover, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.